Quantum Sounds Production. What up, sound? What up, sound?
Let's see those juice boxes, y'all. Let's see those juice boxes, y'all. Let's see those juice boxes, y'all. If you were on the show, go ahead and hit that plus sign. I don't see any of my people. Oh my God, this is so crazy. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Red Room Talk. You can find us every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm your host, Jen. The Red Room Talk is a show about love, intimacy, and interpersonal relationships, including self, to erase different social stigmas. We're here to have candid discussions and cut through those stigmas to show that in the end, no matter your background, we all have commonalities when it comes to matters of the mind and the heart. Nothing is off the table in the Red Room Talk. Last episode, if you missed us, that's okay. You can find us on YouTube by clicking the link in my profile and subscribing. Last episode, we talked about dating for survival, but this week we're going to discuss roles with this week's topic, men versus women, gender roles. We have an all-star cast this week. We have OG Shad, Queen Essence, and Top Badge Navi. Let's find out how the panel feels about gender roles. Please do stick around until the end. We will need the audience's help later in the show, so do not go anywhere. Before we get started, all that I ask is you keep your mind open and your language clean. First things first, I'm going to let the folks in the box, and then we will get started. All right, I think we're just waiting on Navi. And if he's not here, any gentleman can request the box just in case.
That is bold.
Hold on. So I guess while we are waiting, we are polite here in the Red Room. So Queen, go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know where you are, what you got going on the app. And can I just say that
I don't have
lipstick
anything
is
going on the app. I just turned 35 on Tuesday, and I'm just here because I don't want to get fines.
Oh, no, she didn't. If there is any gentleman in the house, you can hit the plus sign if you are prepared to talk about gender roles. Yeah.
Are you trying to tell me that someone's late?
You know, fashionably. But go ahead, Shad. Let us know about yourself and what you got going on the app.
What's going on, everybody? It's OG Shy. OG for a reason. Back here home. Feels so good to be home, you understand? Red Room this Saturday, you understand what I'm saying? Feels so good to be here. Y'all catch me out here in these tax streets doing my thing. Monday through Friday, more than likely 8 to 5. After that time, Saturday and Sunday is random, and then y'all can catch me every Saturday at 10 sharp, co-hosting this beautiful show here, the Red Room Talk. So happy to be here. No place like home, baby. You know what I'm saying? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
I am Jen and Juice, y'all. I'm the host of this show right here, right now, y'all. If there is any gentleman in the house, go ahead and hit that plus sign. We do need another male's perspective for tonight's show. So go ahead and hit that plus sign, y'all, because if you're late, that's too bad. But go ahead, and if you are a gentleman, you know, go ahead and hit that plus sign. But, y'all, I'm the host of this show every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, catch me on Sundays for Soul Food Sunday with Wancho Number, Top Badge Wancho Number. And then again on Tuesdays for Wancho Snacks and Juice. And then, please, y'all, if you want to sign up, we are having a murder mystery that is, a My Bloody Valentine murder mystery. So if y'all want to sign up to be a part of that, make sure y'all hit me on Instagram and then go to wancho.juice so you guys can get your custom jacket just like this one. But if there are any men in the house, please hit that plus sign. We do need one more male here or if it's a female, at this point I don't care. Hit that plus sign if you're prepared to do the show. But yeah, anyways, we'll go ahead and get started while we're waiting for somebody to not show up. Anyway. Okay.
Show must go on.
Yes. Gender roles impact families on a conscious and unconscious level. Unconsciously, gender-related material is internalized via television shows, movies, commercials, books, ads, and podcasts. On a conscious and unconscious level, gender roles are internalized through one's upbringing, observing relationships and other families, and interacting with the world in general, schools, jobs, friendships, etc. With that being said,
growing up, what family dynamics or gender roles did you witness in the home?
I witnessed my stepfather and my actual father being complete providers. Like, they took care of all the car stuff. They handled all of the heavy bills. My mom was a homemaker, even though she worked full time. She did, they both cooked because, all three of them cooked because they all could throw down really, really well. I guess it was just on a day-by-day basis. Like, whoever had the energy to make it happen, they did it. My dad was the person who walked everybody to their cars when they left. He met you in the parking lot when you got back home from work, if you were still living with them. He took on the role of the stern parent. My mom was more of the more lax, I want to hear what you got to say. My dad was like, we're not doing that. This is how it's supposed to go. Yeah, that's what I witnessed. Was there a second part to this question?
No, it just says, growing up, what family dynamics or gender roles did you witness in the home?
Okay, cool.
I think you answered that beautifully. From my perspective, it was the complete total opposite. Being raised in a home with my mother, my sisters, my aunts, my grandmother, and things of that nature. My older brother was the man of the household. Mom working 12 hours a day, 11 to 11, wherever the case may be. just to be able to provide for us while we're at school. So when we came home, it was my brother who was in charge. You know what I'm saying? Making sure we got our work done, making sure we ate. Um, Even when I got in trouble, he was the disciplinary before my mom even got in and did her hard work on me. You know, like, oh, okay, you want to act out in school, we're gonna get you right, and then when mommy get home, she gonna get you right, that type of thing. So my brother, he took on that male role, and it actually helped shape my outlook a lot. Because when it came to trying to do everything around the house at a young age, my brother was even almost 18, and he was taking on that manly role as far as trying to provide, being the protector, making sure that when I was wrong, he let me know I was wrong and corrected it. And then when I was right or needed that love or that care, he was there to provide that as a male figure should. So I didn't have the pleasure of growing up in the household with mother or father, but my brother actually helped shape my outlook on a lot of things and what a man is actually supposed to be because of how much he took on at such an early age.
So, for me, my mom actually was the one who went to work. My dad was disabled, but he very much did things to make money. My dad was a mechanic, so he very much he worked from home. He also did he did a lot of wheeling and dealing. We'll just say that. But he made sure he provided for his family as much as he could for being disabled. But one main thing that I can say that I witnessed as far as gender roles is, even though my mom was the one who worked, she very much looked at him as a man. Like, she very much allowed him to lead the family. Like, he, made a lot of decisions, made a lot of the decisions and led as a man. She still allowed him to lead as a man, even though she was the breadwinner. Also, very much so, my mother, even though she, like I said, she was the one who provided, my mom also was the one who, cooked and such like that. So even though, yeah, she went to work, she also was the one who cooked for us and such like that. So, not only that, but as far as, like, gender roles, like, they very much shared, like, both. Like, my mom wasn't the only one who cleaned. Of course, us kids, we all pitched in, but it wasn't just a one-sided thing. Like, it was very much like, they shared, whatever things needed to be done, they made sure things got done. However, they divided that. Yeah. Do you guys have anything else to say?
My birthday was Tuesday.
So if y'all are just pulling up, that's okay. It's not okay if you're the person who was supposed to be here. But we do have much more to come, y'all. You can find us every Saturday right here on the Red Room Talk at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We just discussed growing up with family dynamics or gender roles. Did you witness in the home? And now we're going to get a little more specific. But before we get specific, if you would like to jump in and be a part of the conversation, you guys can hit that plus sign. Not now, but right now. All right, so go ahead and hit that plus sign if you would like to be a part of the conversation tonight. We do have 2 open boxes, so if you want to jump in and be a part of the conversation, please hit that plus sign, y'all. Do not be afraid. I don't bite hard. So gender roles within a family. 1, can affect how one thinks they should behave. 2, can impact one's view of themselves. 3, can impact one's conscious and unconscious understanding of their gender. 4, can affect relationships within the family. For example, a family may experience more conflict if the parents and children disagree on gender role expectations. Hit that plus sign, my guy. This leads to the next question.
Knowing the gender roles that were passed from your parents, are there any you use in your relationships or others that because you witnessed them, you don't abide by?
Are we waiting on Navi?
Yep. But okay. You can go ahead and answer.
No, I think that by having 2 parents that were willing to always step up and handle whatever the need was at that moment, it makes me very well-rounded. The only thing that I don't have, and it could be because I'm single, is the whole, my dad would come home and he had children from a previous marriage that he had to pay child support for. So any money outside of his child support, it was a pot type situation. So everybody poured into that pot. Even once we got old enough to work, we had a percentage or like an agreed upon amount that at first they said that they were charging us rent, but what they actually did was take like the money that they were asking for us monthly and put it into our moving out their house fund. And it's 13 of us, so it was a big fund at all times, or at least a big obligation for them to take care of all of us. So in addition to my parents being so willing and well-rounded, one thing I do adapt with my children is not giving them set things or being like, hey, because you're a man, you take out the trash. Like, no, we're all going to take out the trash, but because your legs are younger and I don't want to walk down 2 flights of steps, you're going to do it. So, you know, it's more so that things, but one thing that I do appreciate them is the open-mindedness. They treated each other as equals. My father wasn't more of a man than my mom was a woman, if that makes sense. They walked side by side. It wasn't him in front. She was not his shadow. Were they each other's backbone? Absolutely. He knew that just as fast as he would come down to any of his daughters or sons on the side of the freeway, my mom would go and meet him. Even if she didn't know what a lug nut was, she was just going to be there.
Do you want to repeat the question?
Got you. What's going on, man? Welcome in.
What's happening? My bad. I was over here parenting myself, man. I got my 2 youngest over here causing havoc. So part of my tardiness.
No worries. Hey, look, at least you got here, you know?
Glad you showed up. The question was, knowing the gender roles that were passed from your parents, are there any you use in your relationships or others that because you witnessed them, you don't abide by?
Well, my father died when I was 10. You know what I'm saying? So he died of cancer. And then like, you know, I had like 2 different stepdaddies growing up, one real one. My stepfather, Herbie, he always cooked. You know what I'm saying? He always cooked, and I always took out the trash. But that's because I think it was like my sisters never did, because I did. You know what I'm saying? And it was kind of like, you know, you handle the rough stuff. It was just what it is. But I've seen my mother do it. My mother handled everything. My mother was and still is a superwoman. You know what I'm saying? Like my wake up call crew from my morning show, they contacted my mother somehow through my sister that comes, and made sure my mother came at a little celebration for me. But she had to cut out and go run and save the world again. So I get a lot of what I do every day from her. And I look at other women like that I've dated or whatever, that they gotta put some pep in their step. They can't just be like on some fall back stuff. Because here's the thing, with me providing, take care of roof, everything, taking care of the kids, as you already know, it's like if I'm taking care of the kids, the mother's not at the time. You know what I'm saying? There is no gender roles. It's just everybody's all in. I'm prior service military, so that's just how we get down. If it need to get done, do it. You get what I'm saying? Which I'm probably a little harder on some women, like, because I'll look at some and be like, yo, what are you doing? It's not about man and woman. It's really about taking care of business as an adult. And my thing is, even though I handle it, I need to know you can handle it if I die. What if I die? Then what happens? Can you have my children's back? Can you fight? Right? When I used to date when I was younger, I used to teach them the 8-point blocking system by the number. You know what I'm saying? I did Kung Fu. And I used to teach them how to block, how to do this, how to do that. You got to know all types of things. You know what I'm saying? I love a woman that's feminine. I love a woman in her femininity, but I also feel like she has to be fierce and ready as well. But as far as like other people's kids, I don't get involved. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're hurting your child. If you ain't hurting your child, I'm good. That's how I get down. You know what I'm saying? That's just me.
Good stuff. Good stuff. My personal opinion, one of the biggest things that I don't abide by is that whole tough love scenario as a man. Um, my brother was the ultimate man. He's a man's man. I mean that. Simply because he helped me realize at a younger age that tough love was not always the right answer. Even coming from, my dad whenever he was around, or uncles and things of that nature. Tough love was always there. Oh, you're a man, suck it up. It's gonna be all right, dust it off, you know what I'm saying? Drive home, blah blah blah. That's not the answer to every occasion.
Oh, he's military too? He's military too?
I'm military, but majority of my family also. So thank you for your service and all that good stuff. But yeah. So even with that whole, drive up, suck it up, it's gonna be okay. You're a man, men don't cry, blah blah blah. That's wrong. And I feel like being a man, whenever I am able to be blessed with a son, I'm going to pass him on the same measure because that's wrong. Sometimes tough love is the answer, but not all the time. Sometimes a man is going to need coddling. Sometimes a man is going to be able to know that it's okay. Absolutely. It's okay for you to feel this type of way. It's okay for you to be all right with your emotions, to express your emotions a certain type of way. I really feel like that stigma has hurt who we are as men, especially in our community, because people want to drive from the fact that it's tough love, tough love, tough love. You're damaging that child or that man as a infant right there in that moment. You're damaging them. And then when they move on throughout life, you're putting in this false message that it's bad to show emotions, or it's bad for you to want to cry, or it's bad for you to express how you truly feel as a man. That's why you have all these bad things happen with people not being able to control their temper and everything else, because they were not shown as a child how to healthily display their emotions. So that whole temperament of, tough love, you're a man, suck it up, that's one of those I would never stand for, and I'm always going to preach against it because I know the damage that it can do. I know the damage that it probably could have done to me had I not had the safeguard of my brother being in place, being the man he is, raising me from that age. So,
you said something about the temperament, right? In having a bad temperament, but I've noticed, even like I have 5 children. Okay, I have a set of twins as well, right? And my one of my twins, he's a little soft. You know what I'm saying? He's a little soft. He's not as tough as the other one. But I feel like it's from not giving so much tough love. You know what I'm saying? I feel like because being soft on him, or his mom being soft on him, I feel like he's fell into that. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. It's all right. You know what I'm saying? And I give a little tough, but I try to make sure that he's not afraid of me. And I feel like it's a hard thing to navigate with certain children. You know what I'm saying? Certain children are different. Like my oldest, my firstborn, he would jump up and down on the couch forever, and his mother tell him stop. But then I come in the room and I don't have to say anything. He just drops. Now for an hour she'd been telling him to stop. And then she would get mad at me because I came in and said nothing, and he and sat down because he knows I don't play. And then with the twins' mom, I go in there and like they'll be going nuts in the back of the car. Then I get in the car and they're like this. And she'd be like, "Oh, your father get in the car, and now y'all want to sit down. Your father, y'all nice and quiet." But it's all because I check it at the door. And it doesn't mean that you have to be hard. You just have to be consistent. And if you don't have consistent structure, then that's when they can go off and fly off the handles. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like even being softer with some kids, they'll be like, okay, because you showed so much emotion. Like my 6-year-old, he used to be and be on some crying. Then I took him for a very long time. Like not going back to his mother because he needed that little bit of just manhood stuff instead of just the soft mama part. Because he said, "Well, I'm sad now. I'm sad now," and all crying, all this other stuff. I'm like, "Yo, what are you doing all this extra stuff and you manipulating and doing kind of being like an ultra? I'm sorry to say it. I said being like an ultra girl. You know what I'm saying? Manipulating the situation." Don't be doing that. I think it is a feminine trait because women in their emotions is a superpower. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's a hard thing to navigate. That's why no one can tell me parenting is easy.
It's good.
So for me, one thing that I could tell you, and I've had arguments with many women over this, and even some men. But one thing that I could tell you that I learned from my mom as far as a gender role, my mom always made my dad's plate. Yes, his arms are not broke. No, his legs are not broke. No, his feet are not broke. But she always made his plate. He is the head of the household. Even before us children, before she made our plate, she made his plate. He is the man of the house. He is the head of the household. Nobody eats before each other. That's one thing that I think people get misconstrued. Just because we got our plates first did not mean that, that my dad got his plate first, didn't mean he was eating before us. We all ate together as a family. That's one thing. We had TVs were off and such like that. But we ate together as a family. We sat at the dinner table. We had the family table. That was one dynamic that I want to implement in my family. And one thing that I make sure that I implement in my relationship is that I make sure that I serve my man his plate. And that's just something, it's a respect thing. He's the head of the household. He gets his plate first. And I think that's just more than just respect. It's, as a man, you should be. You know, especially if you are the breadwinner, you know what I'm saying? You work all day, you come home, you should have your plate in front of you. Your food should be at least be getting ready or hot and ready when it's your time for you to eat. Now, like I said earlier, my mom very much was the one who went to work. My dad was disabled. He did make money. He was a mechanic, at-home mechanic, but he still very much also took care of the family, so he was the one that was with us the bulk of the day, but my mom still very much treated him as a man and served him his plate. That's something that is huge for me and that I very much agree, because your man should come first even before your children. Yes, I said that. And I know a lot of you probably will not agree, but the reason why I say that, your children grow up and they go on to their own lives. Okay, if you are constantly putting your child in front of your partner came before your children became. Not saying to neglect your children. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, your man is the head of the household. You should pour just as much into your partner as you do your children.
Agreed.
And I think a lot of people, that's where their relationships begin to compartmentalize, because they are constantly, the kids, and they forget about their partner because they're pouring so much into their children. This is not me saying, let me repeat, y'all. This is not me saying do not take care of your child. This is me saying take care of your partner as much as you take care of your children. That.
It sounds like all three of y'all agree.
Pour into the stunt before you can nourish the branches.
Agree. And I think it's like a lot of people misconstrue what I say, and they're like, well, my kid's gonna eat first, and my kid's gonna. I'm not telling you that your kids are gonna eat last. I'm saying we all eat together as a family, but I serve my man first, and that's just how it is. And that's just how I grew up watching. My dad very much made sure he held the door open for my mother. My dad is the one, yes, the boys in the family, not even just my father, but my brothers, they took out the trash. They did the manly duties. And that is very much implemented in my home. They take out the trash. They pump the gas. I make sure the house is clean. I make sure that their plates are ready. And I make sure, his clothes are ironed every morning before he goes to work. I make his lunches for work. With a note in it. Yeah, I'm cute. But no, I make sure that he knows that he's the man. And I don't think that's wrong of me to make sure that he gets his plate first. I don't. I've had many arguments where I'm like, my man's hands ain't broke, my man's legs ain't broke, and you know what? They're single 6 months later. But I digress.
Well, yeah, that's two different extremes.
Hallelujah.
Go ahead.
But no, I've had that kind of argument where so many women think that I'm saying neglect your children. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying treat your man as the head of the household and allow him to lead and be the man of the household. But if you sit there and you're putting your child even before, I'm going to tell you, because my mom did not put us before our father. And that wasn't a bad thing, because we very much As long as we are fed, there's a roof over our head, and we have clothes on our back, and we are taken care of, the rest is cheese. You know what I'm saying? But they very much made sure that they poured into each other just as much. That means date nights. That means all those things that you should be doing with your partner.
I think Queen was gonna say something.
Go ahead.
I'm just in love with all the responses. I don't have anything to say.
Okay. Well, I was just gonna say this. I did pick up on something you said. You said that your man came before your children. But then there's that other side of it, like, oh yeah, your man come before your mama. Once that's your husband come before your mama. Now your mama came before your husband too.
Oh, well, okay, and that is just, but your mother very much is mom. Like your mom also has her own life. Do you get what I'm saying? Just like your children are gonna grow up and have their own families. My mom has her own family with her husband and their other children. You know what I'm saying? So
what about that dad joint? What about that dad? Like the dad and the husband's arguing, and the father say sit down, and the husband say go to the car. And what do you do?
To the car. I'm sorry, Daddy. I love you. But I'm going to the car. And actually, we had an episode, right, where we talked about this very thing. If there was an argument between your parents and your... and you know what my mother said? My mother said, I'm taking my partner's side. Even my own mother said that.
I don't know, take sides. I think listening to
not
and
sides,
taking
but like
sides
if it came down to it, which way I'm leaving with my man still. I'm still gonna leave with my man because
you leave with him,
you don't
who's wrong?
correct. This is one thing.
If
You
he's
don't
wrong,
correct your
you tell him
partner
he's wrong?
publicly, and I would never correct him in front. But I'm now. If you was wrong, I'm gonna tell you later
Yeah.
you wrong in the privacy of our home. But I'm still
Yes.
going home with my person. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it was something where it was like an extreme, blatant, you know what I'm saying? But you correct them in private, especially not in front in public or anything like that. You have that discussion later in the privacy of your home. Now, you might know by the look in my eyes because I'm burning through your soul right now. But we're gonna have that discussion
I work
later.
a lot. I work a lot, right? So my time sometimes, like in the past, like if my children being fed, and I've been for years, for over 20 years, I'm getting to it. I'm either graphic designing and web designing. I'm doing something, right? I'm promoting. I'm on the phones, whatever I'm doing, right? My plate would have been brought to me, right? So my plate being brought to me is one thing, but I used to say, feed the kids first. That's just me. It's a military thing that's been instilled in me since I was 17. And it's kind of like I eat after my soldiers. And I'm the leader. I'm the head, like y'all said. But my thing is make sure you feed me something. Like you make sure you bring me something. And if there's, I don't even care if it's leftover because I'm not even that big, like, this need to be happening. I'm not, I think that's kind of corny, right? But my thing is if it's leftovers, and there's a certain amount of meat left, I could be mad that you didn't cook the rest of the meat that's in the freezer because I'm gonna make sure the food's in there. I'm gonna make sure the food's there. But if for some reason you mess up, you didn't make sure I went and got, because I'll go shopping too. Like Queen, I'll go shopping. I've cooked, whatever it is, I'll do it all. But sometimes I won't. I'm busting my hump. I'm a tour, whatever I am. But whatever, if there's only a little bit of this, a little bit of that, the kids and the woman will eat before me. As long as you bring me something, I'm fine.
Now,
Or the good stuff, I'll eat the grudge.
now,
As long as I eat, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Fine. But I feel like the meal, my children gotta be taken care of first.
Now, you do remember the key word I said. I said serve. I didn't say nobody eats before the other, or that I'm going to feed my man and there's nothing left for the children. What I said, now do the key word, I'm going to serve my man first. Yeah. That's just a respect.
No,
he's the head of the household.
He heard you, but I think he just had a different...
I understand. Yeah. I was just wanting everyone else in the audience
I get
so
what
he
you
wasn't
said.
rebuttaling saying I said to
100%.
children
and I respect
last.
it.
No.
Don't get me wrong. I respect it. I salute it and all that other stuff. I can never tell anybody they wrong for that. You know what I'm saying? Just me, my personal side, I'll just be like, yo, make sure my kids eat.
Correct.
That's all I give them. You know what I mean?
But, y'all... When you hear that sound, y'all, that means we are at our hot seat question segment. Our hot seat question is left up to the fate of the audience. That's right. I went to Instagram to ask our peers what they wanted to ask for this week's hot seat question. If you want your question to be featured on next week's episode, make sure you go to my profile, click that icon, and follow me on Instagram to look out for that hot seat question post. Now is the time to enter in the comments who on the panel you want to answer tonight's question before I reveal it? Go ahead and enter now.
I'm seeing a lot of Navies. Yeah.
No, I'm just shouting out.
There's a lot of that.
I'm just
I
shouting
love
out.
A lot of
Not
Navies.
me.
Oh, they shouting out.
I've seen a
Yeah,
whole
a lot
lot
of
of that.
Navies.
Okay.
Oh, my bad. What up,
All
Mister?
Navies.
What up,
You got
KOD?
that?
Crystal? Queen K?
Go ahead,
Cookie,
Shada.
what's
You can
good?
go ahead and ask tonight's hot seat question. I'm gonna leave it up to you tonight.
Hey, y'all. What's up with y'all? Y'all make me feel good. What's up?
Who wrote in? Who wrote in? Let us know who wrote in this week.
All right, I got you. Yeah, I feel good. This week, Vicky wrote in and asked, do you think we will have the same number of deadbeat moms as there are deadbeat dads if men had as many resources as women and children?
What do you mean, resources from what, EBT?
EBT, housing,
Talking, legal,
Medicaid, all of that.
all
Everything.
of it, all of it.
Battered spouses.
Hey, listen, if your woman hitting on you, call the police first. Don't worry, you'll get your EBT card. If your woman hitting on you, call them, don't hit her back. Don't hit her back. You'll get your EBT. It's called a domestic violence EBT card. You can get one. Okay? All right? Just letting you know. And then you can get your Verizon for free. I'm just letting you know. Okay? Okay?
Gotcha,
And if you
Verizon.
run a business, put it under a trust, not an LLC, because no one can see who owns the trust. So you can make all the money you want and put it in the PayPal connected to it off here, and then you all set. And guess what? You really pimping now. Just letting you know. Just letting you know.
Just letting you know.
And then you can apply for all the same benefits. Too much knowledge going on. I'm trying to put y'all on game. But here's the thing. It's not about that. It's about men. It's about men, Lee Aura. Why are you not in the bed? In the bed. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, I know. It's my bad. So, so it's about the way that women take care of their children. It's about how they keep them close to themselves. And really, men will see how the child is connected. It doesn't mean that they don't want to be with their child, but they're not going to fight a woman over her child. So it doesn't matter if the child is with the mother, the most of the benefits will go with the mother. Now, if the child is with the father, the benefit is really about the child. It's not about the man and woman these days. You know what I'm saying? It's really about the child. And if they connecting more with the mother, and it's really, and I don't think men get enough credit for not trying to fight. Like, I don't think they think that men hurt about that, but it tears men apart. It makes you feel like less of a man. It makes you feel like you're not striving. You're not being the best person. You feel like beyond a deadbeat. Deadbeat is the nicest term that we will have for our own selves by choosing to not fight. It's the strongest thing a man can do is not fight. And I think that women, we need you. Women, we need you to please echo this to your fellow woman. Please respect the man for not wanting to fight, and don't try to tear him up another way just because you're hurting inside. You are in turn hurting your child even more. So it really doesn't have to do with if they could get that, because if they were more deadbeats, because truthfully, there's a lot of deadbeat mothers out there, and they still got their kids, and they ain't taking care of their kids, and they riding that father for that money, and the kids ain't even benefit because they're using that money to buy weed. I'm just saying.
All right.
Y'all have any rebuttals?
That is the first time I have ever heard that perspective, and I appreciate the love out of that, because too many times than not, we don't get that. We don't get to hear why they don't fight, why they're not there.
It hurts. It hurts so bad. And y'all see my kids is here, but I've been through it. You know what I'm saying? My son's 23 years old. It's just like, and my other sons are 12. They're twins. And I just text my son. I was like, son, make sure you call me. But his mother would try to keep them away, and she's like, "I'll never be like that." Like how the other one was to you. They all say claim this and claim that. Then once they get a guy and they want to buy a house and all this other stuff, then things change, and then that rips us apart, and it actually harms the child, man. And it's technically child abuse. So please, women, talk to your fellow women. Please.
And let me just say this, shout out to the men who do have their children at home. That's the dynamic, in my household. He very much is a stand-up man. We have his son 24/5/8. You know what I'm saying? So I very much, shout out to the men who go through that type of stuff where, the mothers may be keeping the children from them or may not be getting help, from that aspect. Even my brother was very much what I call the 99% dad, and I'm not saying he wasn't 100% a father, but the mother would only have her 1% of the time. So I definitely tip my hat to those men because I don't think they get enough credit. Now, I'm not going to say Happy Mother's Day to the fathers because, oh, Lord have mercy. I would love to. I would love to ask that question. We don't want that. But I knew there would be a fight in the comments because one of y'all,
we don't want it.
I can't. That's one thing I can't stand. No matter. I'm just going to say this real quick. We're not even going to argue, but I'm just going to say this, y'all. On Mother's Day, can we, or excuse me, on Father's Day, can we just leave that to the fathers? No matter how much you try, even if you are a single mother, you will never be a father. And that is something that it irks and it bleeds my very essence. Look, I can't stand it. Because on Father's Day, on Mother's Day, are you saying Happy Mother's Day to the single fathers? No, you're not. And it's a very unfair. It's very unfair, like to take that from the fathers who are actually step-up fathers to their children, and then you're giving it to you're not a father. You're just a really good mother. And on Mother's Day, I hope you're loved extra hard. Go ahead.
On Father's Day, I do tell some of my single mother friends, Happy Father's Day. And it is not a jab at their kid's father. It is me showing them or reminding them that I see the work that you're doing. I'm sorry that you don't have that support. It's not in any way disrespectful to the father. Some of them have deceased child's fathers. It's just, hey, like on any other day, you're doing great. I love you. Happy Father's Day. Or, it's not just like he had a different perspective on not fighting for the children. For me, when I tell one of, somebody Happy Father's Day, it's because I know as being in a relationship with one of my children's fathers, and then not having the other one, that weight, that different weight, that strain, that urge to just give up and to see them keep doing it. And sometimes they just need to hear it. They need that recognition. They need that affirmation. Happy Father's Day. Because you do have to play both roles, So again, it's not always derogatory. Right. Sometimes it's just admiration. It's just, I am appreciative of your drive, your perseverance in not having that other side, that help, that, because just like you have men who won't fight the women, you got women who won't accept child support. I don't want to ripple my life to go after you. You've already put me here. I don't want to do it. I'd rather just do it on my own. So to those women, Happy Father's Day.
Yeah. We could also tell them, hey, make sure you get that buster opportunity to be a father. Just make sure the kids call them so that they can see what it is, so lines don't get construed down the line. You know what I'm saying? So it won't be that, oh yeah, your mother. He can't say that if you are putting the child in position to call the father, not just on Father's Day, but on a Monday. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and do it. Just go ahead and do it. Whatever he going through is whatever he going through. The thing is, women go through stuff and we always want to save them. We always want to look after the woman, right? Because that's what we want to do, just as a society and as men, right? But if the man's going through something, hey, he might just be going through something. He might need the charge of hearing his kids on the other phone to get his act together. Don't just sever it. it may light them up, and they're gonna need it. If something happened to you, they're gonna need their father to be there, and you got to keep the lines of communication open. If the father is deceased,
part of the family as well.
y'all want to put some flowers on your dad's grave. Something. Keep the connectivity so that their mind is wired for it. I think that's what we have to do as a society as a whole.
Mm-hmm. But if y'all are just pulling up, that's okay. You guys haven't missed much, y'all. We still have a lot more to discuss. You can find us every Saturday right here on the Red Room Talk, y'all, at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We just discussed.
What day of the week is that?
Huh?
What day of the week is that?
Saturday. Can I hear it from y'all? Did any of y'all? Can y'all do it?
Saturday.
Okay.
Nani?
Okay. We just discussed growing up. What family dynamics or gender roles did you witness at home? Knowing the gender roles that were passed from your parents, are there any that you use in your relationships or others? Or because you've witnessed them that you don't abide by? And then we just did the hot seat question. If you missed it, I ain't repeating it, y'all. But now I want to talk about tradition. Family is not just an institution of many people living together under one roof, but the union of similar-minded or mutually loving people bound with certain duties and responsibilities. The gender role structure was deliberately designed by initial social setups to help the people accept and realize the specific duties each gender bound to. But today, both parents work and earn for the family, and father and mother enjoys equal social status and financial responsibility. And both the partners may insist that the other one be the homemaker. Adjustments, understanding, and empathy are advised aspects that may help a smooth running family. Clinging to the century-old concepts and lifestyles may help only worsen the situation. So the next question is:
Traditional gender roles have defined roles with the woman taking care of the home and the man bringing home the bacon. How do you feel about the dynamic and why?
I feel like we're in a new era. Back when, 60, 70 years ago, that is what the norm was. When these gender roles were assigned, women didn't have as many rights as we do now. We didn't have the option to go to work and make as much or more than a man. We were expected to be homemakers. Now that we have the option to do both, be a homemaker and a provider, and take some of that load or share that load or be equal to a partner, let a man lead, knowing that he has your full support, and you're there if in fact he needs it. Traditions change. Roles change. As long as the love is still the same, you adapt what traditions work for your scenario. I had a very equal, balanced, traditional type of household, and that's what I watched is how I date, what I look for in a partner. I'm not looking for you to provide financially for me. I am looking for you or us to be able to pour into each other and watch what we create together grow, and sometimes that's going to mean that you have to wash dishes. Sometimes that means I have to pay the mortgage. Sometimes that means I have to get down there and change a tire or go look for parts for something, right? The idea is to have someone to share your life with. Sometimes your life has a speed bump and you need to be able to drag each other over, right? Like you said, your father was disabled, but he still got up and he did his part. Was his part different than what your mom's was? Yes. Was it untraditional? Absolutely. Was the love there? Yes. Was he still a leader? Yes. Was he respected? Absolutely. Whose traditions are these? Traditions are built by family, Some people want a star at the top of the tree. Some people want a person of their ethnic culture at the top of the tree, or some symbol of their culture at the top of the tree. Traditions are based on love and efficiency. Apply as needed.
Mm-hmm. Listen, you just knocked it out of the park, and I want to say I definitely agree. To heck with certain traditions, and I mean that because certain things you are going to want to, take over to your own family, and when you build your own family and you come with someone, and then there are other ones that you want to make yourself. Like, hey, we stringing popcorn this year. We're going to make our own Chex Mix. You know what I'm saying? It's on you to instill your own traditions and all of that. And when it comes to that dynamic of, the woman being the homemaker and the man bringing home the bacon, as she definitely said, the times have changed. And it's on you and your partner that you're with to decide your dynamic, your traditions, and what's going to work for you in order for y'all to flourish and be what you're going to be in the long term.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I just gotta say, listen. Y'all wanted all the accolades, and y'all wanted all the rights and the equality, and you got it. We can't tell y'all what to do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all used to say we needed a J-O-B if we want to be with thee. But guess what? Now, especially, I'm sorry, but on the citizens of culture in this great country, all right, it's designed to literally give the high-paying jobs to the black woman over the black man. All right, because one, you don't want to mess with a black woman when she's going for a job. You might have a problem with her hands. If she will, because she will read you the riot act, and she will bring the church and everybody to take your company out. That's number one. Number two, they're gonna say that one. Women have been designed in the last 40 years to be super duper intelligent. All right. So it gives them a basis to say that they was discriminated against, because 9 times out of 10, they are great for the job. Right. And there is also a construct to make sure we're still tearing up the families in the black community. All right. So the best way to do that in the Willie Lynch letter is to make sure the woman makes more money than the man. It's just a fact. Now, with that being said, I've always dated up. And except for the last 10 years, I've been dating people that didn't have more money than me. But up until then, I always dated a woman that had more money than me. And we just had a conversation. Somebody asked me, the only thing that sucked is when the woman put her hand over my wallet when I was getting ready to pay. That was it was horrible, because she knew she made more money. I had kids, she didn't, and I always dated up. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when it comes down to the money, whoever got the money got the honey. But I always ran the household no matter who had more money, because of the way I positioned myself. So no matter who has more money, who's doing what, like I met this one woman, she made $50 an hour as a nanny. Worked for 2 different doctors. But at the time, she was living in a building that technically, when I looked at it, I was like, this ain't a building. This is a whole bunch of, what do you call them things? Trailer homes stacked on top of each other. And made it look like a one building. I said, we moving you out of this. Moved her from that to a basement apartment, from basement apartment to a deluxe apartment in the sky high. You know what I'm saying? So as a man, there's different things that you can offer besides the funds. You can literally position yourself to be in a certain way. And yes, I dated white women too. All right. And white women, he's making more money than me too. But guess what? Who ran the house? Me. You got to run it some kind of way. All right. Get your cayenne pepper tablets in the morning and help keep young up, and you will do wonders. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, they think men are controlled by sex. Women are more controlled by sex. So do your damn thing, and you will run the show. That's all I gotta say.
So I don't necessarily believe that, like you said, my household, my family household was very much, my mother was the breadwinner, and I've actually been on both sides of the spectrum. I've been, my previous marriage, I was very much the breadwinner up until the end of my marriage, and
did they contribute major though? No. Non-financially, did they contribute some other major way?
No. That didn't come till later. Towards the end of the marriage, they became the breadwinner, I'll say, even though I very much worked too. So I pretty much took care of the home and worked. Yeah, it was very unequally yoked. But now I'm very much in the opposite, where I've never been before, where he is the primary breadwinner, and then I do take care of the home. I do also make my own money, and I do also help run our business.
Yeah.
But I've never been in this position where where someone was the primary.
He's a go-getter. Your new guy's a go-getter. That's the difference.
Oh, very much. He's very much a manly man. He's very much the head of the household. And it was I'm not I'll lie, in the beginning it was hard for me because I very much was an independent person, and one thing I'm gonna say is you cannot be hyper independent and in a relationship. The two cannot coexist. Especially as a female, you cannot be a completely independent person and in a relationship. It doesn't work. It won't work. I wouldn't even allow the man to do a graphic for me. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It was hard. It was, honestly, we butt heads a lot in the beginning because I didn't know how to relinquish any power, because in my previous relationship, and then I was single for so long. I was single for 9 years before we got together. So I didn't.
It could have been because of that. You had to control.
And I didn't know how to relinquish that. And it wasn't that I relinquished, my power or anything, but to allow someone to take care of me, to allow someone to show me to what a real man was, honestly. And so, it's taken a lot of getting used to for me. But I very much, applaud him as a man. I very much appreciate him. I appreciate what he does for the home. I make sure the house is clean. I make sure, his like I said, his clothes are ironed every day. He has his lunch every morning for work with a note in it. All of that. I make sure that he is very much appreciated. I prepare his plate, and serve it to him and all those things, and make sure that he knows that he's the man of the house. But I also still do my thing. You know what I'm saying? So, we do.
You know how you can, and when people have that issue, they can still feel like they are contributing something, because you can still be very, very valuable even if the other person makes more money, and if it's recognized by the other person, you'll really never have that issue. You know what I'm saying? Like honestly, a lot of people say, why do men cheat? Right? Why do men cheat? One of the reasons, I'm gonna keep it 100, is when a man only feels like a woman. If your worth, it has nothing to do with your soul, your character, your looks, your spirit, man, whatever it is, right? If you don't feel like anything other than a wallet, then it's all transactional. In the moment someone else notices something else, it's kind of like a wife that's been neglected forever and she get a little bit of attention from another man. How could you blame her? So that's the main thing. If he doesn't have the wallet there, but you make them feel like they have some worth there, the man won't go out and cheat. I guarantee you. Unless he just has a problem. Unless he just has a problem. Unless he just has a problem.
Unless he has,
and he's not a man. I'm just saying. Men won't cheat. A man can cheat. A real man can cheat. But a real man won't cheat as long as he feels validated with you.
If y'all are just pulling up, it's not okay. I was going to say that's okay, but it's not okay. Y'all late, all right? You guys can find us here every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Red Room Talk. Y'all have not missed it all. We do still have a little bit more to discuss. Y'all don't go anywhere. We're just discussing growing up with family dynamics or gender roles. Did you witness at home? Knowing gender roles that were passed from your parents, are there any that you used in your relationships or others that you didn't because you witnessed them and you don't abide by them? And traditional gender roles have defined roles with the women take care of the home and the man bringing home the bacon. How do you feel about that dynamic? But now I want to know about today's society. The modern social structure sees both men and women as equal, partners of the society with equal rights, status, and responsibility. This is a sudden change of concepts of a male-dominated society. In the families, people who have observed authoritarian father and submissive mothers may expect the same when they set up their own families. The equal status may disturb the husbands, as the laid underneath superiority of elements may require a certain amount of time to dissolve themselves and accept the new socio-cultural setup. The aspects of equality will give rise to certain issues too. Who is to direct and who to be directed? Who is the authority in the family related to issues, etc., may put the family in trouble. If not accepted well and handled appreciably, the family may become like a vehicle steered to different direction at the same time by many drivers. With that being said, the question is,
how do you feel about how gender roles have changed over time? For example, women being the breadwinners in the household and the man being home.
If it works, it works. daycare is expensive. So if somebody got to go to work because their job is going to cover everything and somebody else can stay home, stay home. If you can afford it, if it works, if it's not going to put the relationship in a bind because of preconceived or old traditions that don't have to apply to you, shouldn't matter. What matters is every day the wheels on this bus go round and round. And as long as they keep on turning, we good. We get too wrapped up in the small details. We get too wrapped up in stuff that don't matter. We compare our lives to other people's lives and their situations when what's for you is for you. So if that means my husband got to stay home and I'm going to go to work and you want to take care of the kids all day and you want to be responsible for dinner, fine. If the opportunity presents itself in the future for the roles to switch, let's do it. Because just because a person is sitting at home doesn't necessarily mean that they're not making any money. It doesn't mean that they're less of your partner. It just means that I'm in school. I don't want to go and work for people for $14.84 an hour. I want to go where I'm celebrated, where I'm compensated. When you know your worth, it's a powerful thing. Like, I'm not getting out the bed for $14. My family cannot eat a decent meal off one honest day of work at $14. So I'm going to stay home.
Mm-hmm.
You could do surveys all day at home.
Yep.
You could charge tutors all day.
Hey, they
at
say
home.
that, but some of these surveys don't give you nothing. I need to know the ones that give it up because some of them surveys ain't giving nothing. They ain't giving nothing. I need the right survey sites. I need the right ones.
Right. Exactly. The party that stays home must be a contributing factor in the balance of the home. Perfectly said.
Mm-hmm. Truthfully. Yeah. I don't know. It kind of feel like I'll be a broken record, but man, listen. If you ill enough, I don't care if you woman or man, dating a woman, whatever it is, just if they making the most money, just figure out how to help them flip it, how to save it, something like that. That's all you want. And then you will be at the control of at the helm. You know what I'm saying? Like show them how to invest wisely. Tell them don't blow it. Because a lot of people that make no matter whose side is spending, they're going to blow it. Because they feel like they work for it, they have the right to blow it. And you're going to say, hey, listen, my job is this. Since you putting all your time and effort to make this much money, my time and effort is to make sure the money stays and doesn't go out. Have that conversation. Don't be afraid to have a sit down and like buy that time so you feel like you're on a side that can really speak. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, all right. Shoot, if even if you got to do a picnic, whatever you got to do, just go ahead and have that sit down and say, yo, you gonna do it, and it's gonna be my side, so we can achieve greatness. Try to combine like that, and then it won't even matter who make what, because y'all will really be working like a team.
For myself, honestly, I was gonna say. One of the roles that I feel that's changed over time that I actually am happy about. It's not even being with someone; it's the amount of single fathers that's actually stepping up to the plate and doing what they have to do to actually change the course and turn the tide and end certain social stigmas and certain problematic areas when it comes to actually being a full-time father out here. And then from that aspect, you're actually able to see where the women have come from all these years, you know, with how they're so wore out at the end of the day because you have to do this, do that, run here, run there, take care of this, pick them up, take them here, take them there. And it really changed the dynamic, and that's really something that I'm actually happy to see with the time being turned because just that male impact has a lot on a child and with how they mature and everything over the years. So, yeah.
Big fat.
So,
Big fat.
There are certain things, like I said, my mother was very much the breadwinner. However, there are certain aspects where I believe now, if the woman is going to work and you're just sitting home on your Oh, I can say it now. Sitting on your ass. I can say it now. But if you're just at home sitting on your ass playing the video game and you're not bringing nothing to the table, well, honey, I'm gonna look at you as like a man who don't work, don't eat. I'm just gonna tell you that I wouldn't respect you as a man.
Would you help him make money by playing the games?
Now, if you was making games or you was streaming or something along those lines or doing something to make money, be a productive member of the family. But if you're just sitting home doing nothing, I will not respect you as a man. I wouldn't.
Well, sometimes you got to lean on them and say, look, if you, even if a woman's not doing much, but she's shopping all the time and blowing the money instead of actually making the money, you got to show her, hey, why don't you buy stuff only that you can sell? Right, and because they may be in a slump, they may be feeling this and feeling that. For the young mothers, if you having a postpartum or whatever like that, right? Postpartum can last for years, right? You just say, and you just in a zone. As a man, you got to talk to them and say, hey, this is what you do. All right. As a woman, you say, okay, this is what you're doing. This is what you do. Instead of, before we ridicule, we got to try to rejuvenate. You know what I'm saying? If we see them because they're failing, but instead of chastising, before we chastise, we got to try to energize instead. I think if we try different methods of energizing before we criticize, then it'll be a better way to strategize for success.
Right, and when I say, like, I wouldn't say that if a man stayed at home and he took care of the house and blah, 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 whatever, and he's being a productive member of the family. I mean, someone who don't want to. You know what I'm saying? That's when I'm going to look at you a little differently. Now, when I think about gender roles, too, I very much expect the man to hold my door open. Yes, my arms are not broke, but I feel like there's also things that you should be gentlemanly. If you want me to be in my feminine and you want me to be a lady, then I also feel like you need to be a gentleman and make sure you're holding my door open and things of that sort. Now, that doesn't mean that, whatever, that I won't take out the trash if it needs to be taken out or something like that. I will. However, I also believe that some things are just that. Some things just are a more manly task. Now, that's not saying that if it needs to be done, I won't do it, because I'll mow the lawn, I'll take out all those things I've done and will do. But if I feel like it's something that you need to do, then it's something you need to do. I think some things are still just more of a gentlemanly thing to do. Now,
if you bleach him off the floor twice a week, he can at least mow the lawn once a month. That's what you're trying to say.
Right. And I think too that, like, with how, because let's be honest, society has honestly changed so much, with women's liberation and all those things, and we all wanted this equality, but then it only stops at a certain point. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want the equal rights as far as your family, but then it stops when it comes to certain things. You're like, oh, well, I don't want to do that. Oh, well, but I thought you wanted equal everything. Well, okay, then how about you can go get a job and work as a sewage plant runner? Because some things just are manly things to do. They're just manly jobs. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that I'm saying that women are any less or any of those things, but some things are just a more manly duty.
Can I ask why your mom was more the breadwinner than your father?
He was disabled.
He was disabled. But he very much still brought in money. He, first of all, he was disabled, so he had money for that. And then also he was a mechanic, so he did what he could do. You know what I'm saying? So he very much worked on cars. Why were you the breadwinner in the last couple of relationships? But
show's over.
Honestly, he was. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna give him a pass, but he was younger than me, and I think that he just wasn't prepared to be the man that he was supposed to be. And I think that it took, first of all, him to grow up later on. And all those things. I can give. He had his own issues, but I think he very much was just young and didn't know how to be a man. And then when it did came time towards the end of our marriage, like the last, I'll say, year or 6 months, we were together for 6 years. When he did become the breadwinner, it was very much a power struggle at that point, because I wore the pants for so long. Then he was trying to, like, grab back at the straws where he had been
But he didn't, though. Like, it takes the responsibility goes on the older party. Okay. Bottom line, if you decide to date younger, that means 5 years younger or whatever, right? Yeah. Recognize you're 5 years their senior, and it took you time to grow, mature, see things from a certain. So you have to have more conversations. It's literally sitting down, not laying down, not after sex, not like that when they're passing out. No, in the middle of the day on a Saturday. You know what I'm saying? On a Saturday, right?
Saturday.
You go ahead and do like at 1 p.m., 2 p.m. Have the conversation. Look, I'm never gonna belittle you, but yo, we gotta do X, Y, Z.
Yep.
So if we're gonna make it, if you do not have these consistent conversations, not yelling, not arguing, not when the dishes aren't done, you blitzing, you're gonna say, how can we be the best? If you are creating a new religion with them where their mama and daddy didn't, that person will be loyal to you forever. But a lot of times, when the women is older, and that they expect the man to be the man, but the man is just a man child at the time. Because think about when you were 21 to 25, you know you was a kid.
And I can very much give that, now looking back, but I was even very much young-minded myself because even though, I was older as far as age, but that was my very first relationship. The relationship I'm in now is only my second relationship. And I know that probably sounds crazy for 37 years old, but this is very much only my second relationship in my lifetime. So, then kind of, like I said, transitioning into this relationship, because I was single for 9 years, it was very much a lot. It was a lot for me because, first of all, I was the breadwinner, and I was pretty much the head of the household in my previous relationship, but then I was single for a long time. So then to have someone come in and actually be a man, I didn't know how to lay down I'll say, because superwoman. I didn't know how to just be woman. I didn't know how to do that and not have to have control of all of the straws. And I don't mean an ugly control, like as a narcissism type control. I mean, as far as relinquishing anything. I didn't know how to. I didn't know how to not do everything myself. And so it's very much been different. But I've also now learned to lax and just be like, let him do this for me. Let him do this for me. And I can tell you, it's okay. It's okay. But it was a defense mechanism because I was so afraid. First of all, because like I said, I was hurt in my previous relationship too. In that relationship, not only did I feel like, I was doing all these things and I wasn't appreciated, even as much as cooking. I can tell you it was never appreciated. And so now to just, coming here, and then I have a stepson, and when they, how much joy I get out of cooking from them, you guys would never really understand, because even when he's my stepson, he comes up to, I don't hate calling him stepson, but my bonus son, he comes up and he's like, man, that mac and cheese was bussin'. I don't know what bussin' means, but it was good. He was excited, and he was bussin'. So the joy that I get, he even very much bragged about me, in the very beginning when I moved here, to his mother, how much he loved my cooking, and now she oh yeah.
Why did he do that?
No, but do you want me to tell you, when I finally met her, and I can tell you I had a conversation with Shad, but when I met her,
gotta talk to him, take it easy on
the words, hugged me, and she just said, I love how you love my son and make sure that he's taken care of, and I've heard so much about you, and it honestly,
that's good.
It is honestly like the unicorn type relationship, and
that's good. That's good.
And that made me feel so good, and it made me settle into my role as mother even more. So to have that appreciation, not only from my son, but from, my person, to have that appreciation for something as simple as cooking, I didn't get that before, it made it all the better and made me feel more like a woman.
Yep.
It made me feel more like a woman. I know it sounds simple, something just as simple as appreciating that, but it made me feel more like a woman, and I could be just a woman. I don't know why I keep doing that, but
that same stuff will make a man feel like a man too when he's down and out. This is what we gotta remember. Yeah. That same stuff before we beat down on him. The man will feel like a man and turn into Superman if he got the right battery in his back. You know how I put a battery in your back and was like, this is a new lease on life? Yeah. That it works for everyone.
And sometimes
it works for everyone in the same way.
Words of affirmation can go a long way.
You have no idea.
Appreciation, words of affirmation, appreciation. And however you show that, it could be acts of service. You doing something for me because I made sure something was done for you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, every morning I get up, I iron his shirt for work, I iron his clothes, I make sure that his lunch is there and ready. Whatever, even if I have to, I'll even go start the car when it's cold, just so he don't have to, because I can get right back in bed after he leave. So it's just small tasks that you can do to make your person's life easier, that can make them feel more like a man, and I feel more like a woman, because he comes home to a clean home, his meal, and I feel appreciated, and so it
Come
makes
home to a clean home is a major key. Major key.
So and to feel appreciated, and to feel like, like when just the smile on their face, or just to see their bellies full and they're satisfied with their meal, and to see them enjoy something, makes me feel better about me, that I'm doing what I need to do for my home.
That's a feminine energy you got. That's a feminine energy that sometimes isn't privy to everyone. I think it still can be taught. You know what I'm saying? But real quick, I want to give a little shout out to the men in here. If you ain't got a woman yet, but then you found one on here, and you found a good one on here or anywhere else, here's the key on this appreciation thing. Say you do your thing and you bust it down in the bedroom, and she go to the bathroom, right? And y'all gotta leave with her. If she brought you a wet rag after, only if she brought you a wet rag, this is what you do, right? When she getting dressed somewhere, or whatever, make her bed. Make her bed. You make her bed, she gonna be like, "Oh, this is different." That I can
you just told all these 833 people to do it. It's gonna be common now.
Say it should be common. Things like this should be common, because it puts something in the line. You know what I'm saying? In the line, and you setting the tone.
Or
we gotta set the
bring
tone
me the
out
rag
here.
and wipe me off for me. Anyways, but I digress, y'all. If y'all are just pulling up, it's over, y'all. You have not.
Too late.
It's over.
It's over. Shot me, please. Please shot me. Shoot me.
It's almost
There
over.
you go,
Yeah, but I'm gonna throw one more question in there, just because I think it needs to be said. Yeah, I know we kind of run out of time. We got to talking, so I'm gonna just skip the mumbo jumbo part. But some gender roles from other countries believe that women should be seen and not heard, and what she is able to wear is restricted. What are your thoughts on that matter?
I'm going first. I think it's bogus. I don't agree. That may work for what they have going on over there and for their dynamic, but for me, as the man that I am, I would like my counterpart to be able to, question certain things I may do, or certain things I may say, or bounce ideas off of me, or to allow me to know, what they're thinking. I want you to let me in, you understand? In terms of clothing restrictions and things of that nature, I'm sure that's more on, a religious side, so I'm not going to speak too much on that. But I do believe that clothing is a way of expression. Your hair is a way of expression. The way people do certain piercings and things like that, tattoos, all that is a way of expressing yourself and who you are, your individuality, and I'm all for that, however you choose to do it. But in terms of restricting a person from actually being who they are supposed to be and all of that, that's not something I can get behind.
All right, so respectfully, I have 2 degrees in women's org design. So what's that? 9 years of education. And beyond that, I have in finance and everything else, like 2.5 decades. Okay, so what I'm saying is this. At the end of the day, people will do what they want to do. In general. Now, when you talk about fashion, let's get to the root of things, right? So we're gonna talk about looks, or we're talking about fashion. We're talking about stepping up for things.
We're talking okay, so I could say bare midriff. Some men don't.
Okay, so here's the thing.
To step out.
Right. Okay. So you have a man that wants to date you, right? And you are an independent woman, or hope you are an independent woman, but you have a self-taught, self of self. You have some type of identity before the man tells us to do anything else. Let's talk about it. You want to dress how you want to dress. Now, it's interesting when men want to be intrusive on the looks of things, because at the end of the day, sluts are sluts, right? OnlyFans are OnlyFans, and I don't respect none of that shit. And I really am going to be that person that's like actually like against females, because like y'all want to be sluts, that's not my business. What I'm saying is this. No, but it's the truth. Like, y'all want to be like out here in the world just doing some regular ass shit that's like could have no man respect you. I can't do that. I can't co-sign that. What I'm saying is, for me, my entire career is built off of fashion for 2+ decades. I have never disrespected my body, my mind, or my career.
Right.
So when I say like I am attracted to a person with a personal style, I love that shit, because you have an authentic sense of self, and you dress yourself properly, and I love that. But if you show up like a slut, I can't defend that. And these females are slutty as fuck. I'm sorry, I'm really not. I can't be a female anymore, because like a lot of these motherfuckers are like Tinder ass bitches, want to be a lot for a lot of motherfuckers, and I just can't do it. But if you want to have if you want to authentically like love yourself and have some type of like identity with your like look and how you identify in your authentic fashionable self, I love that.
So you're saying you mostly appreciate people being fashion forward.
I love them fashion forward, but if you want to be a slutty piece of shit, I can't support that.
Slutty instead of slutty primary.
Here's the thing: like, if you want to support an OnlyFans, I can't do it.
Okay.
I would
That's
never
not what the
be a
question
female.
was, love.
All right, here's the thing. I have never been a female that ever done nothing like that. So, like, if you want to be an OnlyFans person, like, that's your business. But in terms of fashion, my business is like this. It bothers me when people want to say they're in fashion when they're just trying to show off their thong or their pussy. No, baby, you're not trying to do that.
No, let's hear the question again.
Okay, so it says
Some gender roles from other countries believe that
I'm not okay. If you
seen
think
and
I'm
not
slut
heard.
shaming, hold on. If you think I'm slut shaming, then that's your business. But here's the
No,
thing,
we're
I
not
might
saying
be.
that.
No,
one's saying that.
but then I might be, because here's the thing. At the end of the day,
Well, could we
if
save
you
this
really
opinion
know
part
what
until
you
after
have,
finish?
Hold on.
if you-
No, they want you to be able to elaborate on it after they focus on the question that they ask. Let's let him ask the question again. Go ahead.
All right. My whole thing is just like, you're of course, but here's the thing. It's like, I just don't understand, like, why the fuck did
Snow, they trying to
It's a
close the
feature
show.
show,
He
it's a
got to
feature
ask
show.
the question again so that we can focus on the question, Snow.
All right.
And then they're gonna let you elaborate.
All right, go ahead.
Some gender roles from other countries believe that a woman should be seen and not heard, and what she is able to wear is restricted. What are your thoughts on this matter?
So what?
Bitch,
So
fuck
what
you.
you're saying
Hey,
in
get your
context,
bread up.
in context to the question would be, like when it comes down to what she has to wear on it would be, hey, seen and not heard is being seen in a respectable manner, but not seen in a disrespectful manner, something that just promotes a lower vibration of yourself and not your higher vibration of yourself. That would be matching what you said a little bit with the actual question at hand.
Let me ask you this. Men never get questioned for how they move. They really don't.
Oh, yes, they do all the time.
No, not really.
You want to know why? Can I tell you why?
No, I'm just saying.
Didn't
Like,
you just say,
if
get
you
your
really
bread
figure
up?
with things, okay. Can I say
You
something?
say get your bread up.
Men really
You say
don't
get your
get
bread up.
questioned for a lot of shit, but when a woman wants to be an actual person, they get questioned.
Okay, hold on.
No.
I don't want to
Men
go too far.
are
I'm gonna give my answer real quick, and that so
Go
we can
ahead.
kind of be on course. So, I'm not even say from other countries, but even in our own, I'm gonna tell you, Not that I believe in the whole seen and not heard, because I feel like that's kind of asinine, and I believe women have just as many rights to be heard, and especially in a relationship. In my household, I'm heard as just as much as him. However, the part where it says what she is able to wear is restricted. Not saying he restricts me, but out of respect for him, I dress in a more respectable manner. That means all those trap photos and things that I had and such on this very app are gone. Because
I saw no trap photos ever from you.
Not really trap photos, but you know what I mean. More suggestive, more bare midriff type photos.
Suggestive is a great word.
I will say
more
suggestive. I never was the quote unquote, in her words, the slutty female. I never was. However, I still took down anything that I felt was not respectable to my partner, because I don't want someone to have to look at me in the way that he looks at me. Do you know what I'm saying? Not saying men aren't going to find me attractive, but I don't want someone to feel like they can come in here and be like, oh, that's how they're gonna view me. Do you get what I'm saying? So I don't. It's almost like, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? Do you get what I'm saying? So he's the one who sees me in that way. He's the one who sees me in the bare midriff. He's the one who sees those things, and not anyone else. Not saying I was ever that female really before, but anything that I felt was even teetering the line, I very much took down out of respect for him, because my partner is the one who sees me in that way. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. That's kind of more what the question was meaning.
Yeah. One of my Muslim friends that's a social influencer. She said she posted a picture. Said, I get more play with when I'm in 3/4 with her hair covered and everything else covered. She said, I get more grown men that's about their business coming to holler at me when I'm covered up. She said, when I'm not covered up, all these other lamos shooting their shot, but the ones that secure, that got a kingdom for me to run in there, you know what I'm saying, on their own, those are the guys checking for me. Yep. This is what she said. So technically, when you do, we have that mindset you say have that me is for my man or my man to be. Listen.
And let me
you're
tell
gonna set
you,
yourself up for success.
Steve Harvey said, and this is where I kind of got that mindset. Not saying I believe in everything that he has to say, because he says think like a man, act like a whatever. But this is one thing that he said, and I took heed to it, because he said, if you take the imagination off a man, the chase is over.
There you go.
You take the imagination off a man, the chase is over. And that means if you're just dressing out there, why does he even want to cook? Because he already knows what you got. If you're out there doing as you say, the OF or all those things, why would he even want to pay for it? It's for free. You giving it out for free. Why would I even want to be with you? Because you're showing it to everybody. There's nothing special for me left to the imagination for anyone.
Yeah.
Those things, not saying that I feel like, you have to wear turtlenecks and all that, that's never anything that he's ever said, but I very much am respectable, and even got rid of a lot of clothes because it just wasn't, those were single girl clothes, you know what I'm saying?
Waiting on my box.
Go ahead, Queen. I want to hear what you have to say.
No, I was saying waiting on my box from you with all them clothes you can't wear.
Oh, yes. I got you.
Okay, I got a couple of things I want to run down to y'all. In regards to the actual question that was asked, times have changed. Some areas of the world don't keep up with the Joneses, so to speak. So for those particular areas of the world, I do feel for them. However, those women do end up, even though the marriages are not necessarily emotionally or psychologically healthy, they do end up in longer term relationships. That doesn't always mean a good thing, but it is something to take into account. In regards to fashion, I think that fashion is very suggestive. Like you said, I don't think that anyone should be judged by what they choose to wear. I don't think that you should be labeled as a slut because your dress is see-through. I think Sierra taught us that this year, being in a thriving marriage and not losing her sense of self, not losing her sense of femininity or sexuality. Again, scenario based. What works for one doesn't work for everyone. I would like to just remind everyone that this is even though we are no longer recording for the Tagged app, this is always a respectful place. It is a show. To come in with whatever degree you have does not give you the right or does not solidify your knowledge
enough to judge a person or say that your word is over someone because of what they choose to wear. Some people spend a long part of their life living for other people. And when they finally get to step out of that shell, you get to see something else from them. You know, some people choose to be gothic. Some people choose to be emo. Some people, choose to just dress like a Unabomber. It's up to the person. People judged God, and and some people praise him. People judge different cultures, and people still follow them. It should always be a respectful platform. It should always be a respectful place when coming in. Just like a degree does not give you the right or the course to slut shame another person. A amount of money don't give you the right to do certain things either. But we've seen how money can move mountains, right? It all boils down to, at the end and the beginning of every day, to what type of person you fucking dealing with. What type of person are you? What core values do you apply to your life, and what do you follow, and what do you value? So I just want to put that out there without ever, because I'm a very opinionated, strong-minded person, and I feel some way, but immediately I felt attacked. Like, I don't got no OnlyFans, but I love a good sheer blinged out dress. I love a risky neckline. And when it comes down to dating,
that's classy, sexy, not what many consider. I don't think any with a shimmery dress with a neckline, that's never could be considered. I don't think that could ever be considered.
A bad bitch or a fine ass nigga or a fine ass man or a beautiful ass queen if you can't handle that status of person. Compatibility is a thing. Back in the comments, someone said communication is key. Communication is not key. You can communicate all day. If a person don't comprehend what you're saying, all that communication was for nothing. Comprehension is key.
Comprehend this.
I need to understand what you're communicating. So that's my tidbit. At 35, because my birthday was on Tuesday. Yeah.
Sean, do you have anything to say? I think that was enough for him.
Love you too, Bria.
But if y'all are just pulling up, this has been the Red Room Talk, y'all. You can find us here every Saturday at 10 p.m. Tonight's topic was men versus women gender roles. You're definitely late, but do not fret, you guys. You can go to the icon on my profile, subscribe to my YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, y'all.
One show.
But you guys can find us every week on YouTube. Click it on my profile. But I'm going to wrap up the show with this quote, y'all. We come to a place of healing in every show. So I'm going to come to a close with this quote. And then we're going to let you guys give your outros. Then I'm going to play a little ditty. The problem with gender is that it prescribes how we should be rather than recognizing how we are. Shamanda, and I can't say the rest of her name. Adichie. But y'all, this has been the Red Room, Lord. We've heard it all tonight right here on the Red Room, y'all. There is nothing off the table. Go ahead, because we are polite here in the Red Room. Queen, give your outro, and then we'll move on to Navi and then Chad.
I think this is my third time on the show, and I really love being here because y'all really show a real queen love. You know what I'm saying? Not to remind y'all that my birthday was on Tuesday. Please pay me because I do go live. I don't got no set times. It say something in my bio, but don't pay attention to that. Pay attention to me. Focus on me. Jen, I appreciate you. Shajin, I love you to death. Navi, I appreciate your mindset. I think it's beautiful. I do want to thank everyone for their continued support to my friend. She does work really hard on and off camera for you guys to have this content every Saturday at 10 o'clock. Her time, 7 p.m. my time, because I'm in Cali. Favorite episode to date. And I think the last words I want to say is to be a good person does not mean that you are a nice person.
All right.
Heavy.
Well, what am I supposed to do with that? Come on. Hello. Yeah, man. Yeah, listen. Jen got got this show because she always poses thought-provoking questions that someone must follow in order to be able to legitimately answer. And that's why earlier y'all saw I was actually carrying the one on a lot of information.
I think you ended up carrying the two and everything because she was running it down.
Right, she was putting a lot of information together, man. So this is gonna be one of the most thought-provoking shows that you can ever show up at. So shout out to Jen and Juice, man. The Red Room. Y'all think that it's about something else, but it's really just putting us all in the hot seat. Not just us that's here in the box, but also you people in the comments, man. Not just with us, but with yourself when you look at that person in the mirror. So shout out to Jen and Juice each and every time. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. That's all I got. Big up the show, big up yourself each and every time. Yo, one show, no what's up. But that's about it. That's up. Shout. Hey, I don't know when you got this co-host here, but he's doing tremendous. Y'all kind of work. Y'all good. Y'all passing it off like like the big three on the Celtics. You know what I'm saying? Bang! You know what I mean? Y'all doing pretty good. Y'all doing pretty good as well. Shout out to y'all.
That's
by the way, y'all can check me out Monday through Friday. I almost forgot about myself. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for the Wake Up Call. We come up with news stories and round them up for character building, mess for personal growth. But if you want to stump me, come and bring in your own stories, and I'll include that as well, and we'll see how it works out. Other than that, go to Tag Team, like it says in my name, tagteam.com, and now Tag Team TV, which maybe if Jen really loved me, she want to get on Tag Team TV. If she want to love herself, so she can be known more than just on the Tag app, she can be known.
I've been saying it.
Because we're actual TV network that you can find on Roku and Amazon Fire.
Because you're bigger than
stream. You know what I'm saying? So let's get to it.
OG shot.
Appreciate it. Thank you for that, man. OG shot. OG for a reason.
Sure.
Co-host here at the Red Room. I love it here. You know what I'm saying? It's funny you said that we play well off each other because, from the very beginning, brick by brick, mortar by mortar, this was home for me. You know what I'm saying? Every Saturday from the beginning, this was home for me. And now that I'm here co-hosting, take this very seriously. That's why I show up real nice. You know what I'm saying? Trying to look nice, make sure I match the host.
Oh, you don't see that?
Work.
This time I showed with something red on.
Yes,
this time I showed up with something red on.
My lipstick red. I tried to
the
participate.
red lips. I love it here.
Yeah, I feel it. But y'all can catch me every Saturday, you know what I'm saying, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm also streaming down here in these tag streets, 5 to 8 Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sunday is random. You can catch me also in the early morning. Most of y'all go live, but I stream. Don't nobody stream on the side out here. So y'all stay with me, come through, catch a vibe, and y'all can catch me every Saturday. As always, so happy to be here.
For sure. 5 8, good lord.
I am Jen and Juice. I am the host of this show right here, right now, y'all. I know we're a little late here because the conversation got a little heated if you were here earlier.
It wouldn't be a good show otherwise.
It wouldn't. Right. It's hot because it's the hot seat, y'all. But y'all catch me every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And please make sure y'all tap in tomorrow at 5 p.m. for Soul Food Sunday, y'all. We're cooking up not only a good conversation, but we're cooking up some food during the conversation. So make sure y'all tap in tomorrow. We got a real fun one for y'all. We're going to do the Would You Rather episode. So make sure y'all tap in for Soul Food Sunday. And then also pull up to Wancho Numbers Live. That's right there. Baby. Make sure y'all tap in for Wancho Wancho Snacks and Juice on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, y'all. And then again, y'all, make sure you tap into wancho.juice on Instagram to get you some Wancho Juice merch. Yes, this is my custom jacket, y'all. It's beautiful, isn't it? So make sure y'all tap in on Instagram at wancho.juice. Our website's coming after the first of the year, y'all. But get in right now. We have a 50% off sale for Christmas. So make sure y'all tap in on wancho.juice and get you some merch. But other than that, y'all, I stream every morning at about 9 a.m. to about 2:30. So make sure y'all tap in then.
You need to start going on at 10 a.m. and then just bringing in a Red Room verse on the wake up call. That's what she need to be doing.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Keep it gully out here in these streets. That's what she need to be doing.
But I'm gonna play a little ditty and end this, and then we can do our thing.
For sure. Salute to y'all. Put your kids in the bed. With the shades on. Good to meet you, Queen.
What up, Sam?